This man wants to know the truth about his internet girlfriend.
She's a lot younger than me. She preferred an older man. She shares and supports my dream of doing music.
Barry was a minister for years and connected with Grace even more when he found out she was religious too.
Says she's a strong believer in God, and so, we have that in common.
She was gorgeous, compassionate, and supportive, but there was just one problem. Grace claims she is stuck in Afghanistan, and Barry is the only one that can help her.
Obviously, she hasn't come home. She always says she wants to. She can't wait to be here. And that was almost 5 years ago now.
Grace would promise to take care of Barry's every need.
She had a friend of hers send me almost $9,000 for me. So she's really sweet and thoughtful.
Is Grace really the woman of Barry's dreams? Or just another romance scammer taking his compassion for weakness?
That time I sent her like $2,500. I actually had to hawk all of my jewelry. It's not been easy. If it's not real, I don't want to go on living in a fantasy world.
So how much money have you lost to an online relationship?
It's got to be somewhere between 250,000 and 300,000.
This is probably one of the craziest crypto research cases I've ever done.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your engagement with our videos help us reach new audiences and can potentially stop other people from being scammed. So I just got this new case in. It's from a man named Barry. He says, "Dear Catfish team, I appreciate your sincerity and compassion for people being taken advantage of. I was divorced in 2019 after 52 years of marriage. At 76, I find the online dating world overwhelming and fallen victim to multiple romance scams over the past 5 years. I'm currently in communication with 3 women, each claiming to be someone they are not, and I've lost significant amounts of money to all of them. These scams have driven me to bankruptcy and my credit score has plummeted. Any assistance you can provide would mean the world to me. Thank you, Barry."
My name's Barry. I'm 76. Currently, I'm a security supervisor at a luxury high-rise here in Houston. I'm also a singer. I do some country, pop, jazz, soul. I sing at restaurants or a pub or a nightclub. If I would sing at church, my grandma would give me a silver dollar. And that was back when they were real silver dollars, Beginning in my teens as a professional singer, doing concerts and traveling across the country. Right now I'm doing security, but I hope to get back to singing. My ex-wife, we met, we were both 19 years old. We got married within about 5 months. I mean, when we got married, we were, madly in love. And she had been a model, so she was a very pretty lady. She's very talented, very smart. We were both musicians and singers. She played the piano and sang, and I sang. So we did a lot of concerts together. We traveled all over America. It was a lot of good times, I had 2 really fine sons. There's a lot to be thankful for. I got divorced in 2019. We really never argued. There was no infidelity on either of our parts. We just kind of grew apart, began to have different interests. For the last several years, we slept in different bedrooms and just more like we're housemates rather than there being any romantic spark left. I was kind of shocked. I mean, I was sitting on the couch one day and she says, "By the way, I hired a lawyer and filed for divorce." I didn't see it coming, Never said, "Hey, we're having problems. Let's get some counseling," or nothing. It was just really abrupt. We just kind of drifted apart, but it lasted for 52 years. So that's almost a lifetime.
After spending over a half a century at his wife's side, Barry fell on hard times trying to adjust to being on his own again.
Kind of put me into a bad situation because I just got up and moved out and left. And I only took my clothes with me. I had a house that was paid for. cars that were paid for, everything, was paid for in full. And I walked away and left her with all of it. So for the first few months, I didn't even have a place to live. I kind of stayed here and there with different friends and stuff, but you can't do that too long.
After having to start his life all over again, Barry had decided to give dating another chance. This time he would try looking for love online.
Would like to find a relationship, but it's difficult because I work so much. I'm under contract, and part of the contract is I can't date anybody at my job. I work so much, I don't meet anybody anywhere else other than on the internet. Started talking with different people, online and stuff like that, and I had no idea what I was getting into. I had not dated or talked with women for many, many years, so there was no internet the last time I was dating. And it's a whole new crazy world. Somebody sent me a picture, I thought it was really them, It's really confusing to deal with all of that, like walking through a minefield trying to find somebody on the internet.
Barry was new to online dating, and he wasn't aware of all the dangers that came along with it. He was about to get a devastating crash course.
I've had ladies that I met that lived here in Houston, ask them, hey, let's get together, or let's go on a date, or let's meet at a restaurant, and they'll say, well, can you send me $50 for gas? I did that a couple of times and they didn't show up. So.
Barry was clearly unprepared to navigate online dating and was about to make a mistake that would cost him for years to come.
She said her name was Abigail Leslie. She started telling me that she was the head of a nonprofit organization, that it was called Abigail's Foundation, and they were building a school over in Ghana, Africa. She wanted to know if I could help her and the school. She wanted me to get stuff for the school, laptops and all this different stuff. She told me that we're going to reimburse you, and besides reimbursing you for everything, we're going to give you, some extra money for your career and for your ministry and what you're doing, because I was mostly doing gospel still at that time. I started buying this stuff and shipping it to them. Like, I would buy stuff, they would pay the credit card off. So the credit card was clear, then I could buy more stuff. They did this several times, and every time they cleared it until the last time, and they reversed all their payments. But the pictures that she gave me were Tiffany Basto. It turns out that she was like a Playboy model. I lost over 200,000 on that. That was my first experience with someone online on the internet.
Undeterred by his costly experience with Abigail, Barry would continue to search out true love online.
I tried a couple of dating sites like Match.com. I met the person I'm talking to now on Facebook. Her name is Grace. I really only saw a couple of different pictures of her. She has brown eyes, long brown hair, about 5'4", 125 pounds, slender, muscular built. She was living at the time in Salem, Oregon. I did talk to her on the phone, heard her voice, and we were just chatting. I always enjoy talking to her, and I guess it's how she makes me feel, I guess. She seems to be real even-tempered. She doesn't get, angry or upset about things. Says she's a strong believer in God, and, we have that in common. She's a lot younger than me. She's about 28 years old now. I told her several times, hey, I'm too old for you. She said that her parents were killed in an automobile accident. She was raised by her grandma. She said her grandma told her she would be much better off if she got an older man rather than a younger man. I guess the combination between me looking and acting younger, she said it didn't bother her, that she preferred an older man. Just about every night when I get off work, usually as soon as I get in the apartment, I've got a text from her. You know, she's just always really sweet, wants to know how I'm doing, how I'm feeling, how my health is, and tells me how much she misses me. And we have some pet names for each other. It's mostly just normal things like honey or hun. Every night when Grace and I talk, we never close out a conversation without her saying, "I love you." She just seems like overall she's a good person, and she shares and supports my dream of doing music. And so I want to support her dreams, and we both have talked about doing different type of missionary work, going to poverty-stricken areas and countries and places that need help. Grace, when I met her, was finishing her medical degree. Shortly after we started talking, she went to Afghanistan. They wanted her to go to Afghanistan as part of like an internship program, I think. She's not military at all, but she was working with the military. After she first went to Afghanistan, there were a couple of times that her grandma sent me a money order because her grandma didn't know how to do Bitcoin. And so she would send me a money order, and then I would cash it and send it in the form of Bitcoin to Grace. The first time she asked me for money, she asked me for $100. I asked her why she needed $100. She said, I just want to see if you're committed to me, willing to do that. I said, okay. And then she didn't ask me for any more money for several months. The reasons that she gave me for needing money, she needed her internet connection, her phone bill, the various basic bills that she has to cover herself, and then airfare. She said she didn't have a way to get home, and she needed help for airfare, and that's when I started sending her money. She's been trying to get home. December of 2019. She was only supposed to be there a few months and come home. Another time, she said several of us are getting together to pool our money to charter a plane. And that time I sent her like $2,500. I actually had to hawk all of my jewelry. I had some rings, and I had a nice pendant, and it was all gold. So I hawked all of that to get the $2,500 to send her. It's not been easy. In security, I don't make a lot of money. I mean, there have been times when I just didn't have any money. You know, it just adds up after a while. Even sometimes when I've gotten kind of upset and told her I was upset, you know, she doesn't get angry, or she just stays calm, and she says, "Oh, you know, I'm sorry, honey. I'm really trying here to do my best." There've been times when I've just told her, "Hey, I just don't have any money right now." She always just says, "Hi, I understand." You know, she doesn't get upset or anything. She doesn't say she's going to pay me back. She just says, you know, that we're going to have a good life together, that we're going to buy a home, that she asked me what kind of car I would like to have. She wants to buy me a car and things like that. I had an accident this past February. I always rode my bike to work. It was like 10 miles each way, and it was raining. Houston has a lot of potholes in the streets. And I hit that pothole, and it was a deep pothole, and it just threw my bike. I crashed, and I broke my shoulder and arm. Ended up having surgery. I was off work for a month. She had a friend of hers send me almost $9,000 for me. So she's really sweet and thoughtful. I haven't been able to talk with her on the phone since she's been in Afghanistan. She tells me that she can't do that over there, that they have strict rules and all this. I don't know.
Barry began to have doubts about Grace when she failed to catch her flight to come back to the United States. Time after time after time.
Obviously, she hasn't come home. She always says she wants to. She can't wait to be here. And that was almost 5 years ago now. Do I want it to be real? Yes, I do. I would just love for her to be here with me and for everything we've talked about to be happening. The relationship with Grace means a lot to me, but it's just the question of, is it real? If it's not real, I don't want to go on living in a fantasy world, you know. I feel like I'm kind of hanging in limbo here, you know. As near as I can figure, it's somewhere around $25,000 or $30,000 over 5 years. Yeah, I've tried on my own. I even hired this one guy. He said he could find out. You know, I paid him, and he didn't find out anything. Because of you guys' reputation and all the videos that I've watched of you guys online, and you seem to have an ability to get to the truth. Really, out of desperation, I've reached out to you guys and said, please help me, you know.
Okay, Seekers, you know we had to get to the bottom of this. Our search team sat down to gather the evidence. We wanted to see if we could find out whether Grace is really a great girlfriend or just a great liar. We have images of Grace, Cash App and Bitcoin transactions, a crypto wallet, Grace's passport, Grace's email, her address, her phone number. Before Grace, he sent $200,000 to the first person that he was speaking to. Why, after you've gone through 4 other relationships that were scams, why does he think that this is the real deal?
I mean, something you mentioned from his first initial email is that he just can't say no to these women. So I'm almost feeling like this is an addiction.
Also, I think we should keep in mind he was married from when he was 20 years old. I don't feel like he's had an opportunity to experience other relationships. And so now he's falling into these scams because he doesn't really understand how to operate the relationship world.
I think he mentioned also feeling sad and being lonely after his divorce with his wife.
I mean, how do we help him?
We need to share with him red flags of online dating. One of the main concerns I have for Barry is that he had been sending and receiving money from people he doesn't know. And that could potentially put him at risk of getting in trouble with the law. Not to mention the fact that he's in the middle of filing for bankruptcy and he's still giving money.
Wow.
How can we figure out if this person is who they claim to be?
Says she's in Afghanistan and she's stuck there, so we send an IP tracker and, you know, we can find out pretty quick if that's a lie.
Well, I think what's really important is we get to the passport, because to him that added some sense of verification of who Grace says she was.
And he was sending crypto for 4 years, so we can look into the crypto and follow that and see where it's going.
Now that our search team had come up with a game plan, it was time to sit down with Brianne to look further into this elaborate crypto wallet Barry was sending and receiving money from. Brianne?
Hey, Drew.
Hey, so we're gonna meet with Barry
Yes.
tomorrow.
Yes.
And I just wanted to be prepared and have a good understanding of where his money has gone through crypto.
So we took all of the transactions that Barry had sent to us, and these were from his Cash App, and he had been sending it through crypto. What we had found was that the majority of the transactions were sent to several different exchanges.
Gotcha.
So for example, if I highlight this wallet here, this is the main wallet that Grace had asked him to send funds to for the last 4 years.
Gotcha.
And all of these funds transferred over to this main Binance exchange wallet here.
This is intimidating.
Yeah, this is another wallet he had been sending funds to, obviously leading to all sorts of different exchanges.
This is all his money here too?
Yes, so that's why I want to zoom out so you can see everything.
Whoa.
It's pretty crazy. So when I zoom in, and I highlighted and labeled each of these blue wallets are the deposit wallets, which are the wallets that Barry had been sending funds to. Once he sent the funds into these deposit wallets here, The money was then moved through these different transactions, and the majority of the transactions did land in different exchange wallets, which I've highlighted red. But what's crazy is that he's been depositing to these 3 different wallets, and they all eventually led to this one main exchange.
It shows that he sent money here and then sent money to this wallet.
Exactly. So what this is he had been sending funds to each of these wallets. Once he sends funds to these wallets, whoever the owner is of this wallet takes the funds and transfers it. So this is the transfer here. And then the money proceeds into this wallet here. After that, the money breaks off into different amounts and it will move through these various transactions here. And so we typically see this when someone's trying to hide the funds, make it harder to locate where the original lump sum went. So they break it off into different transactions. So if I scroll out of this graph, you can see how many hundreds of transactions Barry had been sending throughout the 4 years he's been talking to Grace.
It's crazy.
I know, it's so many. We'll just have to share this with Barry when we meet with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay.
When our search team looked into the money that Barry was sending to this crypto wallet, we were able to figure out that this person behind this fake profile could potentially be using Barry to launder money. Brianne stated that this is one of the biggest crypto graphs she had ever created. Stick around until the end to find out who Barry is really communicating with online. We needed to warn Barry how dangerous it was to keep in contact with this person, but would he listen? If you're looking to contact us and you think you might need our help finding out who you're communicating with online, or maybe you need help breaking through to a friend or a family member, don't hesitate to reach out to our email, sharemystory@socialcatfish.com. We can help you find the answers you've been looking for.
Hey Barry, how's it going? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
How you doing, Barry? Nice to finally meet you.
Good to meet you.
Something that you mentioned while we've been investigating Grace for you is that prior to dating online, you didn't have a reason or a need to date because you were married.
This is a whole new world that I'm getting educated to.
Are you prepared? How are you feeling?
I want to learn. I want to know the full story. I want to figure out how to not get into this again.
First thing, let's talk about the email address. Emails that have been created within the 6-month, 1-year mark. That's where we typically see emails are risky because they don't have any social media attached to that specific email. So there was no data that we can confirm through the email search.
She's been using that same email for the whole 5 years. So
It could also be that she doesn't use it for anything else but just the purpose to communicate with you. The next thing I want to talk about is the phone number. We actually looked into every single one of those phone numbers and we did find that each one is a VoIP phone number, which is an online internet phone number. Anyone can create one of these numbers for free, and they do this because they don't need to attach any personal information. And so for that reason, we weren't able to connect any specific personal data with any of these phone numbers.
I'm familiar with VoIP. Okay.
We did run a reverse address search on the address that Grace had sent you. We found a man by the name of James owns the home, so there was no connection between this person that owns the home and Grace.
It's a big red flag that there's no data or social media behind any of these phone numbers or emails that you're speaking to. And in fact, this all kind of points to Grace being a scammer.
Yeah, I got that.
Brianne and the research team, they're going to give you some clarity on where your money is going.
So once you shared the Cash App information with me, I found hundreds of transactions over the course of 4 or 5 years. This is probably one of the craziest crypto research cases I've ever done. There were several wallet addresses involved. So every time that you were sending funds, it wasn't always necessarily going to the same wallet. These people were sending money to you, you were receiving money through Cash App, and you were putting it into crypto. They were washing the money. They're taking the money and they were breaking it off and sending it to these different wallets, so that was harder to trace. It was really difficult to follow the funds because it kept breaking off into hundreds of different wallet addresses. All I saw over time was that they were washing the money. They were having you be their money mule, someone who receives money from people they don't know, sends money, transfers the money to other people, and they were washing it.
So we don't know if Grace is a man or a woman or where they are or anything.
It's a scammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they put you in a lot of debt. Not only have you sent this money, but you've also accumulated debt on top of the money that you've sent.
Yeah, I'm in the process of filing for bankruptcy right now. I can't understand how somebody can do this kind of thing and have a conscience.
Well, there's a lot of money in it.
Just a job for them, I guess. I guess it's a combination of me wanting to believe it's true and so therefore ignoring some signs. And at the same time, kind of feeling, what if this person really is real and they're stuck over there in Afghanistan and they need my help? All of that kind of weighs on me,
Yeah, the manipulation.
I've never talked to anyone online that didn't want either Bitcoin or a gift card. The one common thread that there seems to be is none of them can do FaceTime. They all say, oh, my phone's broke or, something. They can't do FaceTime. First gal I talked to after I got divorced, she sent me an email and a picture. Well, back then I just thought if somebody sent you a picture, that was them, it was really them. So I talked to, probably quite a few, I don't know how many, maybe 5 or 6 people that I actually, sent money. The first one was over $200,000. And that was a gal that claimed to be Tiffany Basto. Do we have any idea of where this person is yet?
So Barry, I've been doing several trackers. I've been trying to get this person to click on the link. And every time they click on the link, they're using a VPN and it reflects Philadelphia. But I know that this person is not in Philadelphia.
On the one hand, whoever this is seems really smart. On the other hand, their English is not.
Their English is not the best in the chats. However, you did mention before that when you used to get on voice calls with her that she didn't have an accent.
Yeah, I don't remember any accent when I talked to her on the phone. Yeah, I don't remember any kind of accent like a Nigerian or, somebody from Africa.
Whoever this person was behind this profile did click on our IP tracker, but in this case, the VPN they were running got in the way of us pinpointing a location for this person. But we weren't done yet. We had even more to reveal to Barry.
So Barry, I know that you've done your own research and you ran reverse image searches on this person. But I want you to know that we also ran her images through our reverse image search. And what we were able to confirm is that this person's name is not Grace. The real person in these images is Sommer Ray. Sommer Ray is a huge influencer. She has this huge following on Instagram and TikTok, and we will be sharing all of this information with you.
These women that you're speaking to are not actually women. They're just scammers or, groups of people that you don't want to be communicating with.
Well, these people are really professional. I mean, they're not amateurs at this.
No, they're not. And they've been using you over time to move money for them. And I don't want to scare you, Barry, but they put you in a really tough and dangerous position because of what you've been doing with the money.
Oh, okay.
Really, they were using you not only for your funds, but to possibly launder money.
What are you thinking? I can see that you're processing that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm kind of even wondering, because on the one hand, I'd like to go report it to law enforcement or whatever. But then how much am I in danger, if I do?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Barry, like I can't guarantee that things are gonna go smoothly for you. You've been receiving money from people you don't know and you're putting it into crypto, and then they've been using it to wash. There's no guarantee we even know what the money is used for. It could be criminal activity, it could be anything. Your best bet is to just present this to the FBI and just let them know you've been a victim, you've been used. I hope you understand, I'm not trying to scare you. I just want to express the gravity of the situation here and how Grace has been using you after all this time and been putting you in a very tough situation. And I do suggest that you move forward and file a report with the FBI, just expressing to them that you've been a victim of an online romance scam. This person's been using you, this is what they had you do, and here's all the information on that.
Okay. This is all pretty sobering. I think I was in love with the idea of her, and I was hoping that it was true. I was hoping that it was real. Now that I know that it's not, I feel more mixed emotions, a little sad, a little mad, kind of an empty feeling, a sad feeling. I'm an optimist, but I'm a realist too. And if it's not going anywhere, I just can't continue to invest emotionally and, romantically in something that's not going anywhere.
Have you thought about dating someone your age?
I would like to find somebody that's at least within a few years of my age, maybe a little younger, but not that much younger.
You at least had good taste. I know exactly who Sommer is.
I said, I'm a guy, I'm guilty. I like pretty ladies.
But is this an addiction for you?
Beautiful women?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, my wife was beautiful when I met her.
You've been scammed several times throughout the last 4 or 5 years. And what has happened is that you are put on the list, and scammers have that list, and they know that Barry is willing to send money, which is why they keep approaching you with these different profiles, because they know that you'll be easily enticed to send money again.
Probably just delete all these apps and get off. Should I just delete Grace and
Yes, you should 100% cut off all communication with these people.
We suggest that you take the report that we've created with all the research and the cryptograph and file a report with the FBI.
Okay.
A woman in her 20s and 30s is not going to be hounding you online and asking you for money, especially models. So how can we fix the issue?
Yeah. How can we fix my brain? Huh?
What about counseling?
Yeah, I feel like I need to get my head straight.
Do you feel like this has any connection between you and your wife separating and then jumping into online dating?
Well, yeah. I mean, it has everything to do with that, because I was a virgin on my wedding night, and she's the only woman I've ever been with up to this point right now where I'm talking to you. So I think I have to just go offline, get my life together, and meet somebody in a natural way that would be closer to my age. I gotta change what I've been doing, though. I know that.
Do you enjoy singing? That makes you happy, and I would love to hear Barry's voice. Would you, Drew?
Yeah.
Okay. I got a little something here I can try. Baby, you don't know what it's like. Baby, you don't know what it's like to love somebody, the way I love you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I don't know, I like your idea about staying offline. I mean, you enjoy singing. You could join a singing group near you. I mean, you have a beautiful voice. Sounds like you still like to go to church. I'm sure there's tons of singing groups.
Oh, I think you guys are awesome. I really do. I really appreciate I know you guys have put in a lot of work, just to help me and to help others. I can't say enough about how much I appreciate it. I felt so alone in this whole process the last 5 years. It's really been great to feel like I've had somebody on my side, that you guys have been, on my side and helping me and working with me and really trying to help me get my life together here. So I appreciate it a lot.
Thank you, Barry.
You're welcome, Barry. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. Have a good day at work.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
We offered up counseling to Barry, but ultimately, it's up to him to take us up on our offer. He is now focused on meeting women in person. We don't know yet if he's blocked all of the fake profiles that he's been communicating with, but we are going to find out. That's why you should join us this Friday for our live stream. We will go into further detail on Barry's online romance scams, find out if he's seeking therapy, and lastly, we'll educate him even more on internet scams. If you have been involved in a romance scam, don't forget to report it. It helps get the word out and potentially stops other people from being scammed. We want to thank this week's new members. Every membership helps support our channel and allows us to take these cases even further. Thanks for watching. Don't forget all of our new videos go out every Wednesday. If you like this video, subscribe. And if you want to see more, you should probably click one of these two videos.